Joe, what up, YouTube? It's your boy, Chris, coming at you with some bracketology tips and tricks. Try and say that 5 times fast. And you should listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. Sorry for the shaky cam in advance. That's the way it's gonna be.
Shaky cams, not shaky picks.
The shaky cam, but not shaky picks. And so we're gonna start off with the top of the bracket here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of my 2 cents. Louisville's obviously going on. The next we got Colorado State and Mizzou. Now, I'll tell you this right now. Don't sleep on Colorado State. They're a good team, but Mizzou is an underrated squad. They got Phil Pressey. They got a good squadron. I got them going forward. OK State with Brian Nash, star power in the tournament. They're going on. St. Louis, an underrated squad. I got them beaten. New Mexico State. I'm moving on here. Memphis, they're a very good basketball team, but they're reeling. They're reeling. Everybody saw that 2 overtime game against Southern Miss. They didn't look too hot. St. Mary's, they came 3 times, almost beaten the number 1 seed, Gonzaga. So I feel that St. Mary's is going to advance. Michigan State over Valpo. Creighton, another team to watch out for. Star power always gets you far in the tournament. St. Davidson, Steph Curry. Duke moving on. Louisville, I got them beating Missouri. Just a little too much get up and go from the Cardinals. St. Louis, they're a tough team, even though Oklahoma State's got that toughness playing in the Big 12. I got St. Louis. Michigan State, they're a seasoned squad. They'll beat St. Mary's easy. And Duke beating Creighton. Ryan Kelly covering Doug McDermott. I think that's a good matchup for Duke. Now, I still think Louisville is going to beat St. Louis. I know in the A-10, St. Louis gets a lot of that havoc type stuff facing VCU, but I still like Louisville to advance. But I would say don't sleep on St. Louis because they do have a lot of experience playing against that full court pressure. Michigan State and Duke, I like Duke to advance. But I still think it's Louisville's year. Duke has only lost a couple of games without Ryan Kelly in the lineup. And he will be the difference maker getting Duke to the Final Four. You heard it here first. Gonzaga, they're going easy. Wichita is going to beat Pitt. Wichita is a very solid, fundamentally sound team, which is not what you can say about the Panthers. Wisconsin. Wisconsin's another team that's hot. They've been playing a tough schedule all year long, and they've been holding their own. And they have a great young guard, Trayvon Jackson, coming to his own at the perfect time, right around tournament time. And so he's definitely got to watch out for. He's doing the bulk of their scoring right now. They're a rebounding team. I feel like that rebounding can get him far. K-State, I like them over LaSalle. Belmont's another team. They're a team they don't lose that many games. I don't know how you can pick against Belmont. Arizona, I'm sorry. They're reeling right now. I like Belmont pulling a little mini upset there. New Mexico over Harvard. New Mexico, very underrated team. Chris Babb and Corey Lucius, 2 former Big Ten guys. They're seasoned in what is right now the toughest conference in the nation. That's why I like Iowa State because of the good backcourt that they have there. And Iowa. And going back up here, Gonzaga, I still like them to advance over Wichita. I think that's a very favorable draw for them. Wisconsin, the tough rebounding is going to get it done. I think the Big 12 is overrated this year. They just really don't have it. New Mexico, as I said, underrated team. They've only lost a couple of games in what is an underrated conference, the Mountain West Conference. And Iowa State to advance. Alright, top right here. Alright, Kansas, I like Nova. UNC is a team that cannot usually handle that pressure. Think that Indiana game early in the year, they've improved on that since then, but I think the pressure O&D is going to get the UNC. Villanova. VCU over Akron. I mean, Akron's main guy is Zeke Marshall, a center, and I don't know how much use he's going to be against that Shaka Smart Havoc system. So VCU out of there. Michigan, a lot of people are talking about South Dakota State. A very good guard matchup, Nate Wolters against Trey Burke. But I think Trey Burke ends up winning it. There's just too much talent in Michigan, even though they're not hot right now. They're reeling. But I think Michigan's going on. UCLA, even though they're kind of reeling right now, I still like them. I'm a big fan of star power in the tournament, and Shabazz Muhammad is a bona fide star, so he's going on. And by the same factors, Florida moving on against Northwestern State, who did pull a 14-3 upset about 5 years ago. So I wouldn't sleep on them, but I don't see it happening this year. San Diego State, Mountain West, underrated conference. Oklahoma, a team that is reeling, and which I think I've said before is an overrated conference. I like the Aztecs. Georgetown moving on, even though Florida Gulf Coast did pull off a nice upset this year. And so moving on here, Kansas over Nova. Kansas, when they worked out those tweaks and like those 3 straight losses, they've been hot since then. Ben McLemore, another bona fide star, got to watch out for from possibly player of the tournament. VCU over Michigan. There's no way. Michigan does not. They're not playing like a team right now. They cannot handle Shaka Smart's havoc. VCU, I think, is going to come out with an easy win there. Florida. I think Florida's going to take it. UCLA, even though they're going to beat Minnesota, I don't think they're going any further than that. And Georgetown, team that's real hot and going to go real far. And so then I have VCU beating Kansas. Another type of thing, like they've had their troubles. Meanwhile, VCU have been playing a very tough schedule, very underrated schedule. And so I like Shaka to get back to the Elite Eight and to face Georgetown with Otto Porter and the Hoyas beating VCU to go to the Final Four. And lastly, Indiana moving on. NC State Temple, 2 teams that are reeling, not doing too hot, but NC State, they got a ton of talent. If they can get it worked out by the time the tournament happens, I know they don't have a lot of time, but I love the talent of NC State. I really hope all their guys stick around because I think it'll be exciting for them next year, but not this year. But I still like them getting out of the first round. Cal, UNLV. Cal's a nice team. They're a tough team. That's why they're moving on. Q's Montana. I got like Q's over there. Butler Bucknell might be the game of the tournament, or game of the second round, because both those teams can play some good disciplined basketball, but I like Butler. Marquette Davidson. I like Marquette. Illinois, Colorado. Colorado's another nice tough team out of the Pac-12. I like Illinois and their 3-point shooting to move them on. Miami, I don't think they're that good. They're not a good season tournament team. You need a couple years in the tournament to do your work. Miami has not had that. Shane Larkin He's a pretty good player. Is he a great player? I don't think so. That's why Illinois is beating Miami. Indiana is going to beat NC State, team that has the talent, but not this year. Hughes is going to beat Cal pretty easily, and Butler not as hot as they have been in past years, so Marquette's going to move on there. And then Indiana is going to beat Syracuse, and it's going to be a great game, a great matchup. But Indiana has so many ball handlers, though. I think they can break Syracuse's 2-3 zone. And I like Marquette to beat Illinois. And I like Indiana over Marquette to go to the Final Four. Indiana, they got some serious talent. And it's just a matter of if that talent can mesh at the right time. You've seen games where they have been absolutely dominant and other games where they have not. And I don't think I said out of the last part, I like Wisconsin's toughness and rebounding and the emergence of Trayvon Jackson to get them also in the Final Four. So 2 Big Ten teams in the Final Four. And the luck is going to run out for Wisconsin in the Final Four against Duke. Duke might have the only front court in the nation that can match up against Wisconsin's front court. So I like Duke to advance to the finals. And finally, I like Georgetown to beat the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are such an on and off team, I don't think they have the consistency to go all the way. So you have Georgetown and Duke, and when you're picking these, you got to pick the most consistent team. Year in, year out. Mike Krzyzewski knows how to coach his kids during the tournament, so I like Duke to win it all over Georgetown. And so I'm sorry that I told you what's going to happen in the tournament. It's kind of going to ruin it for you, but you can still watch it because the game is going to be fun to watch. Peace out.